Well, that was not the best effort from our defense. Yeah, that was a rough one. Kind of. I mean, to be honest with you, kind of to be expected with all those guys not playing tonight. Just didn't have the personnel to get the job done.
Yeah,
And
when we did our preview, I thought I was under the impression that Uchenna Nwosu was going to play and that it would be somewhat mitigated. So I didn't know both him and Jerome Baker were not going to play in this game as well. If I had known that, I don't think I would have picked us to win because look, our defense got off to a great start and we clearly have a good team, but what team overcomes losing half their defense, more than half their defense, like all in the front seven? How do you win?
especially against an offense like that. I mean,
Yeah.
they pretty much did whatever they wanted on the ground in the first half. What they have three rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, something like that. What did they do? Yeah, three rushing touchdowns. And you know what's crazy is if you just look at the box score of this game, you might wonder why we didn't win because we'll get into all the details later, but we had 516 total yards of offense in this game. Gino almost hit 400 passing yards for the first time, and we won the time of possession. It's just like, if you're literally giving up a touchdown in like 3 to 5 minutes every time you're on defense, that's impossible to win a game. And we didn't even force, you're not going to want to hear this. We didn't even force a single
Oh
incompletion
no, I
out of
already know.
Jared
I'm
Goff.
I'm I'm staring at the numbers right now. 18 of 18, 290, 292 yards, two tutties,
And the
and a
final,
receiving tutty.
yep. And that one was the real kick in the
You got to be
balls, just
shitting me.
just for the humiliation factor. Like I wish I could like stick a needle in the part of my brain that's storing the image of Jared Goff catching a touchdown against us because wow, that's bad. But I know the Lions got an insane interception to end the game, but I don't give a shit about that. This was one of the best games I've ever seen Geno Smith play. That was an incredible gutsy performance to, with your back against the wall the entire game. Defense is giving you nothing. Offensive line is injured up and down. And to just keep us in this thing all the way up until that OPI call, which I don't want to harp on, but bullshit. Um, Absolutely amazing game from Gino and the receivers. I really like, as mad as I want to be about this game, I'm kind of more encouraged than anything in a weird way because I know we're going to get some guys back on defense. Nobody's out for the year. And they were playing phenomenal before all these injuries. So if we can get a mix of how good the offense was today with even just normal bad defense, not, playing like they might as well not be out there, then we're going to win a lot more games this year for sure. So I'm not too beat up about the loss, but yeah, God, that was rough. That was very rough on defense.
I totally agree with you. I took a lot out of this game. Encouraging signs, if you will, because we asked Gino to throw the ball 56 times today. And I mean, I just, the more the season has progressed, he just keeps doing things I didn't really think he was capable of doing.
And he looks fast too.
Yeah, he was just, I, I don't know, man. He has really looked like he's coming into his own. And I was kind of skeptical entering this year. I mean, I'm a big Sam Howell guy and I wanted Sam Howell to get his opportunities, but not with the way Gino's been playing lately. Like he looks like a dare I say it, a top five NFL quarterback right now.
He
So,
does. I mean, he's literally leading the league in passing yards right now. He's
mhm.
top two in completion percentage, I believe. And on top of all that, like he's winning us games. I know we didn't win today, but with a even with a regular bad defensive performance today, we would have won this game with the way Gino played. And
Mhm.
he's kind of playing like he should get another contract, to be honest with you, because I know
I agree.
he's 34, but he's not playing like a 34-year-old. He looks like a 28-year-old out there, and there's a big
Mhm.
distinguishing difference between those two ages with most NFL quarterbacks. But I mean, he had like 8 years to sit on a bench, so he's not beat up like, how Wilson is at this point in his career, even though they're similar age. But yeah, I mean, the receivers played lights out. It's just with the margin of error we had today, we couldn't make any mistakes. And we had a couple bad penalties that just killed drives. We had the DK fumble. I mean, this is a whole different game if DK just holds on to that ball for like a tenth of a second longer. It's just
Also,
unfortunate.
another
Sorry, go
weird
ahead.
moment in the game was going for two when we were down by what it would have been 21-28 had we just made the extra point instead of going for two. Granted, that I mean,
DK caught that pass.
I had to watch that replay a couple times, but uh after further review for myself, he definitely caught that ball. I mean, one knee equals 2 feet. He clearly had the knee down, and possession never wavered during his catching it, holding it to his chest, and going down to the ground. So, I mean, yeah, just that whole sequence didn't really make sense. The call by the coaches and the refs, just a weird decision to me.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame the refs for us losing, but not correctly calling that 2-point conversion catch, the PI on Lockett, and the that was the worst thing the refs did all night. The non-PI on DK. The internet's already ablaze with it. That was terrible because we could have made, I mean, like, I don't think we would have won. I don't think we lost to the refs. Don't get me wrong.
No.
But they really, like, this could have been a classic, like down to the wire finish, and they just spoiled it from being idiots. And I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Everybody is sick of it. Everybody is sick of NFL refereeing. But yeah, I mean, besides the injuries, this was a rough game from Devin Witherspoon. And I kind of feel like he's been on a little bit of a sophomore slump this season so far, because it hasn't mattered because we've played so good overall on defense, but he's been missing some stuff out there this season. And I kind of think it's a case of just trying too hard, maybe. Like, I think about the hit where he tried to kill Montgomery, but he didn't wrap up. So it turns into like a 45-yard gain for Montgomery
Mm-hmm.
there. Just stuff like that. He, kind of got lost on that play, the long touchdown to Jameson Williams. So I think he's still a super young player. I think he'll clean that
Right.
stuff up. But besides that, I mean, it's just like a very talented offensive line having their way with us for the whole game. What can you do?
Yeah.
I
I
will
mean,
say, sorry, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say again, our D line not having those pieces. I mean, I'm not really that surprised. The outcome was what it was. I didn't really. I guess I picked us to win, like you said in the beginning of the podcast. I didn't expect all those guys to be out. Jerome Baker and Uchenna, he was practicing late in the week. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot you can do. And it's, I mean, I don't want to say it's good to get a loss out of the way, but it's good to get a loss like this out of the way, I guess. Come back down to earth a little bit and on to the next, because I don't really take a whole lot from this loss. I would have taken more from it if we had won, because it was a game we shouldn't have won.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought we played with what we had well enough to give us chances and opportunities late game, but it just cards didn't fall our way.
Yeah. As I said in the preview, no team goes undefeated besides the 72 Dolphins. So we were going to lose eventually. It's a bummer that our first loss is our first conference opponent, and an opponent. I mean, this could play a big role down the line if we end up really making something of this season and Detroit has a tiebreaker over us. But they're in a tough division, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I guess if there's another silver lining as well, a lot of guys that weren't supposed to get playing time at all this year got a lot tonight, and maybe they'll learn something from this. So I think moving forward, as long I know Julian Love went down tonight. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. Um, Beyond that, I don't think there was any major injuries. So we just got to get healthy. But we have a very quick turnaround here with a New York Giants football team coming into town. They're not very good, but their season's on life support right now. So
Mm-hmm.
we can't look past them. And then 4 days after that, I don't know why the NFL did this. They give us 3 games in 10 days. So we got to play the Giants and then 4 days later turn around and play on Thursday night against the 49ers. So we got to just shift gears here and refocus because this 3-0 start could be wasted really quick if we hang up on this loss too long, I think.
I am really excited to see how Geno plays against the Niners 2 weeks from now because I feel like they've kind of been his kryptonite a little bit. He has played really not good in any of the games against them. So I'm saying he's been on fire lately. He obviously couldn't get the job done tonight, but I that I hang my hat, tip my cap to Geno. He played
He
well tonight.
he looks like the real deal. I mean, there's not enough good things I could say about him. 38 completions is insane. And it's not like he was throwing a bunch of checkdowns. He was throwing some darts down the field into tight windows and nailing it. And there was even some plays where I felt like receivers left opportunities out there. Like there was a couple, maybe not drops, but could have been catches in this game. It could have even
Right.
been a bigger night for him. So I think we've closed the gap against the Niners, but yeah, and if our defense doesn't get healthy, like if we have to sit everyone that missed today against the Giants to have a couple of them for the Niners, I'm fine doing that because we're going to need them. Because I know, and we'll save this for later pods, but with the way the Niners are playing, it's really not mattering that McCaffrey's out because their run game is just so good. And
Yeah.
that's I know Jared Goff was perfect tonight, but a lot of that was because of what the run game was opening up for them, being
Mm-hmm.
Detroit in the passing game. So we got to figure out this run defense. It's kind of been our one Achilles heel so far this season, and I believe in Mike McDonald to get the job done fixing it because that's his, bread and butter, his defense.
Mm-hmm.
And he's shown me nothing to the contrary so far. But yeah, we definitely have work to do. I think that the flaws with this team are very clear, but so are the strengths.
Agreed. And again, I have a tough time taking the sample size from this game as something that we should expect to see in the future because I mean all of our starters, like I'm not even gonna I mean, I don't want to make excuses for them, but like how can you even evaluate our team as a real defense when the whole front seven was basically absent
Yeah, I
tonight?
mean, the defense we fielded from the second half on was essentially like second half of the third preseason game defense tonight,
Mm-hmm.
plus Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how you win when you're down that many guys because
Mm-hmm.
besides the talent gap alone, these guys playing out there, some of them have only been on the team a couple weeks. They don't know the playbook the way they're supposed to or their assignments. So, and Mike McDonald, that's the reason why we were also stoked about getting him is because he runs a complicated defensive scheme. This isn't something you can just pick up on a whim in a week or two. So
Right.
I frankly maybe we took the homer pill a little too much leading up to this game,
I think so.
thinking that we could lose like a few of our best defensive players and like stick it to them on a Monday night game. But I mean, in another world where a few more mistakes didn't happen, we could have won this game. So that's kind of my takeaway is injuries were too much and we didn't play perfect and we needed to win.
Yeah, with the opportunities were definitely there. It's just executing them that many times against an offense like that. It's a tall task when you have
Yeah.
that many guys down. So
Yeah, I think it's too much, but I do think the offensive performance today, Ken Walker looked insane. Um,
yeah, he looked great. Even
really,
Zach had a couple runs there that looked promising too. So I
yeah,
mean,
you're seeing the pieces of what can be an elite offense starting to emerge. Even a guy like AJ Barner made some noise tonight.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's so much to be encouraged by with this offense, and I got to think that this defensive performance is going to be more like an outlier when we get to the end of the season.
I agree, 100%.
And that's I mean, I could run through some stats, but I feel like we've pretty much hit all the points that I wanted to. Is
Yeah,
there anything else you wanted to bring up at all, or?
not really. It's kind of tough. It was honestly even kind of tough getting on here after that a loss like that. But I feel like it's our responsibility to do this no matter the outcome of the game.
We got to get up to the podium,
Yeah.
face the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for tonight. We'll probably pick it back up maybe Wednesday, I'm guessing, before the game against the Giants next weekend. Which is it a home game?
I think it is. Yeah.
Nice. We have some crazy home games against the Giants in our history.
Yeah. I mean, if it's anything like the game we played against them last year, I'm not too worried about it. But we'll save our thoughts for later this week on that Giants game.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, guess we got our first loss of the season. Wasn't great, but I've seen worse. So
I've seen
I think we've
worse.
got a bright future despite giving up 42 points tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen worse in the last like calendar year than what we did tonight. So I'm really not that upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta, flush this one and take care of business against the Giants and the Niners. But that is
Yeah,
TBD.
one game at a time.
Yeah. All righty.
All
Well,
right. Yep.
that,
Well, that was yeah, I guess we'll pick it up on Wednesday.
yep. All right. Catch you next time.
All right. See ya.